Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Jar of Marble dwellers and Jar of Marble curious. My name is Linda and this is Jar of Marbles.
And I'm Bob.
It's good to see you, Bob.
Good to see you too, Linda.
Thank you, Bob. This week I wanted to talk a little bit about none of your beeswax. The older you get, minding your own business is often seen as a way to maintain peace, avoid conflict, and respect others' boundaries. However, there are times when it can be counterproductive, both in personal interactions and in the larger context in society. Being overly focused on staying in your own lane can lead to missed opportunities for connection, lack of support for others, and a failure to address issues that may require your attention or intervention. And sometimes it can be misread that you don't care. So here are a few scenarios where minding your own business can do more harm than good.
Oh, I'm going to love this, aren't I,
Bob, you're going to absolutely love it.
Yeah, righto. Hey, what kind of trousers does the psychic wear? Just a pair of normal pants. Size medium. Get it? Medium?
Well, just as we can choose to stay in our own lane regarding looking after the business of looking out and after ourselves in a very healthy way, not in a selfish way, I'm talking about being really sincerely stubborn even about our own happiness. Let's face it, if we take on negative thinking,
Hey, how to tell someone that their breath stinks without hurting their feelings? Thought I'd say, well, I'm bored, let's go brush our teeth. No? Oh, okay then.
let's explore together the power of self-love and caring about our well-being. It's easy to fall into traps of self-hatred and guilt. All those negative thoughts are just ingrained from a long time in believing your unhelpful negative thoughts.
Oh, that's so true.
It is, Bob. Dropping these and accepting ourselves fully will bring the opposite experience. We have to stop refusing to feel positive in our lives. We can refuse to think negative thoughts.
We can.
We can. When we have problems, as said by Louise Hay, author and coach, she said, all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good, and out of this experience, only good will come, and I am safe. And that is such a powerful affirmation. I've used that many times in my life, at different points where it's just like, just need something to steady myself, especially when you need to calm down. You need to calm your mind down, your body down. Louise Hay was saying this is not about the problems of the world, including wars, but your own problems. She goes on to say, if you say it enough, it will become so. Because as you say this, you are changing your thinking. I have experienced this many, many times in my life with this affirmation when everything on the surface was not well and I did not feel safe, etc. But sure enough, after thinking and saying this affirmation, it did make a shift, and it made such a shift in my thinking. And also, can I say very quickly, I'm not worried about the how, just that it does help a lot. There's not too many things that make such a difference, but ultimately it does give you not only a sense of peace, but a kind of a shift in your life. People that insist on saying and thinking, I am not safe and things are not working out, etc., when they are feeling like their back is like completely against the wall and keep saying that, that's exactly how you will continue to feel. I realise it's not easy, but bit by bit, it actually does get a whole lot easier when you pivot and change what you are saying to yourself. I love it when people have said, this is poppycock and it doesn't work.
It's poppycock.
You just wanted to hear yourself say that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
They've not tried it. They have not altered their thinking in any way. And this is the classic example of doing the same thing and getting cranky about getting the same result.
You know, light travels faster than sound, which is the reason that some people appear bright before you hear them speak.
Says you, says Bob. Yeah.
Yep.
I was listening to author Vincent Peale, and he confirms so many questions that still come up in my own mind when I forget what I know, and the application of affirmations freshens up your thinking. It improves your thinking. Therefore, how you feel makes a huge difference in your day today. If you want to hear him speak, he narrates his own books on YouTube, and it's just such a good listen. Highly, highly recommend. So, when you witness harmful behaviour, what do? If you see someone being mistreated, bullied or harassed, turning a blind eye under the guise of, it's none of my business, perpetuates the harm. And I know it depending on what it is, it can be really, really difficult. Stepping in, offering support, or reporting the behaviour can disrupt a damaging behaviour pattern. And standing up for someone in a vulnerable position, it's not about stepping boundaries. It's about using your voice to create a safer environment.
Hey, I was wondering where they get the seeds to plant seedless watermelons.
It's quite the thought, Bob.
Yeah.
When others need help, but maybe they're afraid to ask. Some people struggle to ask for help due to fear of rejection, shame, or pride, or simply not wanting to impose. By minding your own business, you might unintentionally leave someone in distress. If you notice signs that someone's struggling, sometimes it might be just a simple question like, hey, I've noticed you seem a bit off lately. Is there anything I can do? Actually can make a world of difference.
My obese parrot died today. Sad, but that's a huge weight off my shoulders. And I was also thinking about when you're dead.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when you're dead, you don't know you're dead and all the pain is felt by others.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I reckon the same thing happens when you're stupid.
In team environments, in collaborative settings, minding your own business can translate to disengagement or a lack of shared responsibility. For example, if you notice a project veering off course, but you don't speak up because it's not your direct responsibility, the entire team is probably going to suffer. So constructive feedback and shared accountability create stronger teams and obviously better outcomes.
Remember when plastic surgery was a taboo subject?
Yeah.
Now you mention Botox, nobody raises an eyebrow.
Bob, so what about when social issues are at stake?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you mean?
On a societal level, minding your own business can mean staying silent in the face of injustice. If everyone only focused on their own lives, many social movements, whether for civil rights, gender equality or environmental justice, they never gain traction. Sometimes not minding your own business is necessary to drive positive change and support, especially for those who cannot advocate for themselves.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what do you call a pig that does karate? A pork chop.
Oh, Bob.
Hey, what do you call a dog with no legs? Doesn't matter what you call him, he's not coming.
In personal relationships, constantly minding your own business in close relationships can create a kind of emotional distance.
And that's never a good idea.
That's right. For example, avoiding difficult conversations because you want to stay out of it or rock the boat.
Rock the boat, baby. Yeah, I like that song. Gets right up into my gizzards.
Good on you. So staying out of it may lead to unresolved issues, resentment, or a lack of emotional intimacy. Showing a willingness to engage deeply can strengthen your connections. Depending on what it is, though, your opinion or someone else's marriage, of someone else's marriage, and you feel the need to put in your 5 cents, probably a good idea to step back because no one will appreciate your disapproval.
You were going to say no one will disapprove or you appreciate.
I was actually.
So you were talking about choosing your battles.
Yeah, something like that.
I didn't realise how bad of a driver I was until my sat-nav said, in 400 feet, do a slight right, stop and let me out. Let me out.
Good on you, Bob. Respect versus engagement. It's important to strike a balance between respecting others' boundaries and recognising when your involvement is needed.
That's the money shot right there.
Yeah. Consider whether your intervention is coming from a place of genuine concern or a desire to control. If it's the former, stepping in may be the right choice, even if it's uncomfortable. Ultimately, minding your own beeswax is...
Why beeswax?
Well, we used to call that minding your own business when we were kids. We thought it was funny.
Yeah, used to. Yeah, that's the operative word, used to.
Oh, shut up, Bob. So minding your own beeswax can be a good rule of thumb in many situations, but when it means ignoring someone in need, failing to contribute to shared goals, or turning away from issues that matter, it's worth reconsidering.
Yeah, when you see someone with toilet paper stuck under their shoe.
Yeah, or whether someone's fly's undone. What about if we dive into a topic that's a little different from the usual self-help advice, but incredibly important if you're working on making big changes or moving forward in life? It's something that we don't always talk about, but it is so powerful when you understand its impact, keeping your plans private.
I'm getting tired of waking up not being in Italy, I'll tell you that much.
Me too, Bob. Another side of the coin of minding your own beeswax.
Minding your own business.
Yeah. Now, we've all been there, dreaming big, setting new goals or planning a major change in our life. And what do? We get excited, right? So naturally, we want to share our excitement with everyone we know. And here's the thing. There's a real power in keeping your plans to yourself. It's not about hiding from others or being secretive for no reason. It's about protecting your energy, your focus, and your progress.
It's the energy, isn't it? It's protecting your energy.
It sure is. And today I'm going to explain why that can make a difference. So let's start with this. Have you ever shared your big plans with someone only to have them shoot them down, question your choices, or worst of all, steal your idea? Or as bad, give you a whole list of reasons why it won't work. It's frustrating, right? You've probably felt that discouragement creep in, maybe even doubting yourself for a moment. And you're not alone. It's human nature to want validation. But sometimes those unsolicited opinions, especially from people who aren't in the trenches with you, can really derail your momentum.
Yeah, that's true.
People just can't help themselves.
My brain has many things to hold and no pockets, I tell you. No pockets!
But here's the secret. When you keep your plans close to your chest, you're protecting your own mental space.
Yeah, I like it.
The truth is, not everyone will understand your vision, and that's okay.
Very okay.
I know when I wanted to go into my very first business, everyone I spoke to was totally against it, bagged my ideas. So I learned very quickly to keep my ideas to myself and went into business. Best move of my life. And sometimes people don't even need to understand. It's not their journey, it's yours. When you share your plans too early, you risk giving others the chance to influence your self-doubt. Your dreams are personal, and until your dreams are strong enough to stand on their own, they need to be nurtured in a quiet, safe place.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I asked God for a bike, but I know God doesn't work that way, so I stole a bike and asked for forgiveness.
Like your style, Bob.
Yeah.
You see, there's power in silence. Think about it. When you're quiet about your goals, you can focus more on the work, the discipline, and the execution. You're not distracted by others' opinions or judgments, which means you're more likely to stay on track. You've got a clear vision in your mind, and you're the only one that needs to see it clearly at this stage. Hashtag none of your beeswax. Let's talk about timing. Some things are just better left unsaid in the early stages. There's a reason why people say, don't count your chickens before they hatch. When you've just started a new project or an important transition in your life, it's vulnerable. You're vulnerable. You're still working, figuring things out, and sometimes sharing it with others too soon can invite unnecessary pressure or unrealistic expectations. Or even worse, it can invite negativity that stirs up your insecurities. And that's the last thing you need when you're working to create something new.
Gonorrhea would have been a great name for diarrhea medicine, I reckon.
Oh, wow, Bob, that's horrendous.
Barb.
Yeah, that's right, Bob.
And yet so good.
Of course, there's a fine line to walk here. We all need support from time to time, whether it's from a mentor, a coach, or close friends who really get us. But it's important to be intentional about who you share with and when. If you don't have a solid foundation, sharing too soon can cause those plans to feel fragile, like they might break at the first gust of wind.
Oh yeah, I believe you're right.
Life.
Life, yeah.
What, Bob?
Happened so fast, so fast. What?
What? Life. Time is speeding up on the merry-go-round every year. I'm 63. I was 35 about 10 years ago. Well, it feels like it.
Yeah, you're really old.
So how do you navigate this? How do you keep your plans private without feeling like you're being dishonest or cutting people off? Here are a few strategies you can try. You gotta be selective with your inner circle. Share your big ideas with people who support your vision and understand your drive. Find the people who will lift you up, not tear you down. If that inner circle doesn't exist yet, journal. Keep them to yourself as you move forward.
Hey, as I watched the dog chasing his tail, I thought dogs are easily amused. Then I realised that I was watching the dog chasing his tail. Yeah.
You must give yourself time to grow. Let your plans evolve quietly before you share them with the world. The more solid and self-assured you are in your direction, the more confident you'll feel when the time comes to share.
But how do you know the difference between sharing and seeking validation?
Sharing your excitement is one thing, but actively seeking validation for your plan is another.
Oh, yeah, righto.
If you need reassurance, make sure you're getting it from the right places and not just anyone who'll listen.
I like to hold hands at the movies, which always seems to startle strangers.
Also, trust the process. As said by the legendary Bob Proctor, faith and fear both demand you believe in something you cannot see. You choose. Oh, yeah. That's solid.
Yeah, it is. I like that.
Not everyone needs to be public. There's power in progress that's done in silence, like a seed growing beneath the soil. Let your work speak for itself when you're ready to share the results. Now, this is always important. Set clear boundaries. Politely, but firmly. Set boundaries with people who don't support your plans or who might distract you with doubt. Your energy is precious. One day you will understand why your timing was actually perfect and why things had to happen exactly the way they did. Trust the process of your path, evolution and growth. It's all divine timing. Ultimately, the goal is to protect your energy and your focus. By keeping your plans private, you can preserve your momentum and ensure that when the time comes to share, you're not just talking about your dreams, you're living them.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, much more satisfying. You'll know that your journey is already underway and nothing and no one can stop you now. So often when we come to points in our lives where we might be hesitating to stay in a job, for example, and we could be telling ourselves that, it's the wrong time of the year, because depending on what it is you're going for, there are not so, better times to apply. So it might be too much of a concern to change, or you might have concerns with getting the same money or less, worried about the culture, and that is really important.
So important.
Yeah, it can be a make or break in a team situation. And the how is it all going to happen can come with an avalanche of why not. To do something, the fears of this and that, the how.
The how?
When we go for what we want discreetly by not worrying about how it's all going to come about, all you know is a change that's needed. So the question how is a dangerous one. Stop your good thoughts in their tracks kind of thinking. Just that it doesn't help at all. It keeps you in a worried state. It's well worth giving it a shot to not be concerned about the how. It's the perfect way to stop, flow, considering what could go wrong, what might be wrong, not helpful at all. It shoots the idea of change right in the foot. What I like to do is allow myself to have a better state of mind, to open myself up to possibility and therefore be able to be more present, to spot the opportunity or that idea and to go for it instead of talking myself out of it.
Because of the hows?
Yeah. I was listening to an author talk about the uselessness of affirmations the other day, and the way he presented it was kind of laughable. He was saying an affirmation over and over, albeit sarcastically, but this is what he was saying: I have $1 million, I have $1 million, and the next day he didn't have $1 million. Well, to me, that's just like saying I planted tomato seeds yesterday and no tomatoes have grown today.
What? No tomatoes and you planted the seeds yesterday?
Exactly. All I know is changing how you think really creates a clearer mind shift faster. It's like any discipline. You've got to sort of stick with it.
You know, being salty is so last year.
You think, Bob?
Yeah, we should all start being marinated.
Good thinking there.
Yeah, I thought so.
You know what, Bob?
Bod.
Yeah. I'm always striving to keep my energy up for it to be more towards the higher side of things. How you decide how you want to be perceived depends on how you show up.
You know, I was thinking your fingers have fingertips, but your toes don't have toe tips, and yet you can tiptoe, but not tip finger.
That's quite the thought.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I thought so myself, yeah.
And in a sense, I am minding my own beeswax by doing what is exactly right for me, including affirmations, including learning new skills or not allowing judgmental thoughts and opinions of others and even my own silly thoughts to penetrate my peace. That's a biggie. And it feels bloody good, might I say.
You might.
Thanks, Bob, I do. There's not too many things that make such a difference, but ultimately other thought strategies, including affirmations, does give you not only a sense of peace, but a most definite shift in your life. It's your life that suddenly it just feels like it has more meaning. I've heard people insist on saying and declare that they're thinking, I'm going nowhere and things are not working out, etc., when they're feeling like their back is against the wall, and they keep saying that. They are affirming all of that, and that is exactly how they will continue to feel. I realise it's not easy, but choosing simple thought affirmations on repeat is easier than saying in the other frequency. It is a small but helpful way to get started out of a negative thought, and it gets a whole lot easier when you pivot and change what you're saying to yourself and continue being dedicated to it.
It is a total discipline, isn't it?
Well, you're worth it, aren't you?
Well, yeah.
We're all worth it, right?
Yeah.
I love it when people have said, this is poppycock and it doesn't work, but they've not tried it. They have not altered their thinking in any way, not changed one thing. And I'm telling you, it works all right. So I'll leave you with this.
Leaving? What? Leaving?
Well, not quite. The quietest steps often lead to the greatest strides. Protect your vision, protect your peace, and protect your journey. Keep your plans private and let them unfold in the way that only you can understand. The world will catch up when it's time.
Oh, I do like that. That really is something to minding your old beeswax, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Bob. Life is better when you make time and space for what you love. This world, some of it is all business and woe, and this woe can rob you of every ounce of happiness you possess. There's no reason why you can't be in business or be in a business and be experiencing a bit of joy. It's really up to you. And if you let it, you have to be intentional about giving yourself something to look forward to. You have to prioritise your joy.
Without a doubt.
I've been choosing joy for a while, and there has not been a single consequence to that. So far, so good. I'll keep you updated.
Good.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of None of Your Beeswax.
Velcro, what a rip-off.
I love this. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
I hope this resonated with you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are some ways you protect your plans and keep your momentum strong? Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review if you found value in today's episode. Until next time, stay focused, stay inspired, and remember, your journey is yours to create.
I must say I do feel inspired.
Me too, Bob. I do. So, say good day to the family for me. Give the brown Texas recluse a miss, and we'll see you next time, okay? Okay then. Bye.
Bye.